You are listening to an episode of The Faithful Sinners.
Welcome back, Faithful Sinners. My name is Timothy Baker, and today on this episode of SINspiration, I'm going to talk about listening to hear, then follow. Do you intentionally listen to hear God? And more importantly, when God does speak, are you willing to listen and follow? Or do you stick to your own plans? I know for myself that I have, for probably the majority of my life, stuck to my own plans and found myself with many, many challenges, many frustrations, many regrets. Now I find myself trying to listen more intently and being purposeful and intentional with how I follow. I say this as I reference the ending of James 4:17, where it says, "Therefore to him who knows to do good and does not do it, to him it is a sin." What that means to me is that if I'm aware of what I'm supposed to do, yet I purposely choose not to, that is a sin in God's eyes. Because, we are to have plans and work towards them, but they are supposed to align with God's plan. And we are not supposed to get stuck or be firm in our own desires. Because when we push or boast for our own desires, we are going against God. And He will not support those actions, or more importantly, keep you from those consequences that result. Trust me, I've had the consequences numerous times. And what I've found is when I am following the messages and the plan of God's will, my consequences really don't seem to show up as much, or they're ones that are helping me to redirect and be more in alignment. I will also reference Luke 12:21 at the end of that, where it says, "So is he who lays up treasure for himself and is not rich towards God." So if I am working to just build the treasures up for me here in this world, gain what I want for my here and now, I'm doing nothing to lay up my treasures with God in the future. I hope that's not where you're finding yourself. It's where I found myself a while back. And praise be to the Lord that I was able to recognize where I was off track. And because of His grace, I've been allowed the opportunity to regain my place in His kingdom. So what I will leave you with this week is, living just for your plan is short-sighted, as tomorrow is not guaranteed. I've definitely been in a position where I've said, well, I'll do that tomorrow, and recognize that, what, tomorrow is not necessarily going to be here. So if it's really important, I better do it now. So this week, what I ask you to do, or today, is listen with intention. Have some specific time set aside to just meditate and be in His presence. Or during specific situations, have a way for you to be open to hearing God speak. And then purposely choose to act or ignore, but acknowledge your decision and immediately begin living out your decision. Don't hold back. Don't wait. Today's the day to move. Thank you very much for taking time to listen to this SINspiration moment. And I hope that it is a way to give you some motivation in your day and in your week. But please, as I have always asked, make sure to share so we can all sin better together.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Faithful Sinners. Make sure to follow us and like us on your favorite podcast or social media site, and also check us out at thefaithfulsinners.com.